children soon will be gods. この狩りの始まりだ。
So, if my memory is correct, or at least as it appears on my phone, it is officially 2 weeks since December 7th, which, oh boy, for my military bros out there who are plentiful because that's basically all they can talk about a lot of times. That is Boat Touching Remembrance Day, or Pearl Harbor, aka America's entry into World War II. And yeah, oh boy, that was a that's a heck of a thing to talk about, because a lot of people really want to talk about how America entering World War II. There's actually some people out there, some idiots, who think that, oh, America entering World War II, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered because the Russians were beating back the Nazis on the Eastern Front. Yeah, they were. It's because Hitler was stupid and didn't realize that it gets cold in winter, you idiot. And then, of course, there's also a lot of people who forget the the North African campaign, which, America played a big part in. Although Monty Montgomery and and George Patton were the ones that chased down Erwin Rommel. Although Rommel basically was fighting a losing war, and he knew that. And then, of course, there's also the Western Front, which, there's a lot of people who talk about the Western Front, Yeah. I know. I played plenty of video games and watched plenty of documentaries about the Western Front, but there's also the Pacific Theater. And correct me if I'm wrong, how bad did the Russians lose against the Japanese? Oh, yeah, that's right. They got both of their fleets destroyed by the Japanese, and they never recovered. And in all honesty, it wasn't until someone leaked the plans for the nuclear bomb that there was any talk of like things becoming more like things getting to the point where the Russians could actually do something against the Japanese. But of course, the Boat Touching Remembrance Day. This is a Habitual Linecrosser who is going to basically be regaling us with the tale. I guarantee we're going to see Grandpa Buff, probably the F-22 Raptor, probably the F-35, and also probably hearing some chiming in from China, Japan, or I'm sorry, Western Taiwan, and Japan and Europe, and yeah, it's just, this is going to get ugly, and I'm all for it. Bring it on, baby.
So, does everyone know what day today is? Ah, yes.
Ah, yes.
While I understand and respect that it is a solemn day of remembrance for the United States, I also want to explain that while you Americans think that Pearl Harbor is the worst thing that's ever happened in history, you lost around 2,400 people. Meanwhile, during the London Blitz, we lost over 40,000 civilians. Yeah, but they weren't American, and it wasn't all in, like, one day, so... yeah.
Hey, don't get all uppity over there. It's not our fault that Kurt Kielbasa decided to eat a 9mm and share his thoughts with the walls before he could experience the fucking sun.
Adolf
Now
Hitler.
back to what's important.
While I love...
Wait a second. Isn't the kielbasa... Isn't that Polish? I can't remember.
the German Kurt Cobain joke. Buff, I think kielbasa is Polish. While it is primarily associated with the Polish, which is also where it originated, there are varying different versions. German, Hungary, it's just Eastern European. So I would let Grandpa Buff have that one.
Fair enough.
The little computer that could. He's always got my back. All right, now get back to this story. This is one of my favorites.
Now, a lot of people think that the whole beef between me and Japan started December 7th, 1941. Now, while that is when I did set the precedence that you do not touch my fucking boats, it started long before that. So, I first need to take you back to the turn of the century.
Who are you? And where do you get these giant metal ship from?
We built them. It's called the Industrial Age. Coal and oil and all sorts of different things. You know what kind of things you can do in this world when you have the right amount of resources? You guys are still in paper huts? It's fucking wild, bro.
Maybe it is about time that I experience industry and start exploring the world. Don't do it. Just make anime and sushi. The Americans love the anime.
Not gonna lie, we do. We fucking love anime. Oh boy.
We fucking do.
Yeah, we do.
So,
And sushi. Sushi's delicious.
years ago, we showed up, had big ass ships. They were still using like bamboo boats and shit. And they were like, well, we want some of that. That's when Japan started experiencing their industrial revolution. And we're like, okay, let's kind of chill out now, man. You're getting really built really fast.
I like being a wolf.
Well, Japan's industrial complex. I mean, holy shit. You want to talk about the industrialization of Japan? They literally just... You want to talk about, like, a rocket ship in terms of progression. Yeah, America was like a good, steady progression, and then eventually we figured some shit out, and then we climbed at a pretty accelerated rate. Japan was basically a flat line, and then gone. Before you knew it, in a lot of ways, they'd surpassed like the United States with it. Like there is no arguing the fact the Japanese had better planes. The Mitsubishi Zeros were way superior. Also, not only that, the Yamato, even though it being built was a basically just to say we have the biggest boat. The Yamato was terrifying in terms of its construction.
Power, but it is very, very hard to find the resources to make this stuff. How do you do it?
Well, if I'm going to be transparent, we first try and set up good trade deals with people, and by good, I mean they're good for us and not so good for them. Like, we take a lot of the stuff that we have excess of and give it to them because it doesn't matter, and then we get the shit that we need. And if they say no, we usually just kind of invade them for security purposes.
Fair enough.
You got it. Manchuria, here I come.
Yeah, so pretty much that's where me and Japan started having a beef. You see, because they were taking a whole bunch of resources, and I still needed a whole bunch of resources, but unfortunately right now, during this time in history, in 1931, when they invaded Manchuria, which is a province in northern China that had a shit ton of resources, I was also kind of dealing with, like, the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression and all sorts of bad shit, so I just kind of turned a blind eye.
Well, also, not only that, but they were also fending off the Russians, who basically were just like, yeah, we want to build a railway to give us like fresh water. That's, if you get that reference, thank you. But basically, that's what led to the Russian the Japanese Sino War, and the Japanese promptly kicked the ass of the Russians.
With the history lesson, I thought we were talking about what happened at Pearl Harbor, and this is a day of remembrance. It is, but I'm also using this opportunity to speak about history and show people exactly how many parallels there are with what happened then and now.
Look, America, I have taken Manchuria, and I now control all of these resources.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean it like that, man. That's not gonna fly, homie. I do not recognize your regime over there. You should pull back, relax, and gradually build up. You know, I applaud you.
I am taking what is rightfully mine for the Empire of Japan, and there is nothing you can do. My God, I wish I could warn this stupid fuck.
So that's where the Empire of Japan just kept, like, exponentially expanding. And I was trying to play it nice, so I do the first thing that I always do, which is sanctions. So
Ah.
I sanctioned Japan around 1940, and I put an embargo on oil because I was just trying to slow them down a little bit. Just pump your brakes.
Hey, you! You must get rid of these sanctions and stop helping the Chinese and allow me to have access to the Dutch East Indies. I had forgotten about all of this.
I bet you had. Yeah, you probably lost all your memories because of all the, like, proper kicks to the frickin' head you got because you kept getting your ass kicked.
Does your playbook ever change? Sanctions and helping one side and trying to maintain order through background bullshit.
That's how Dad did it. That's how we do it. And it's worked out pretty good so far. I try to be nice. I try to de-escalate. Motherfuckers don't want to listen.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. We should totally flip the script. Let's just do a preemptive strike. Who the fuck wants some?
Now, wouldn't that be odd? It's not your style, America. You never jump in first. You always wait for everybody else to waste their resources and jump in at the last possible second so that way you can wave your flag and feel like you're triumphant in every way.
Things that...
Yeah, just like the British, always talking good. Well, I know it's Habitual Linecrosser, like sounding off about the British, or sounding like he is British. But yeah, I keep hearing like British historians say that it's just like, oh, America's just like prime opportunists. It's like, yeah, except the fact that we were literally keeping the Brits afloat by sending them all the resources that we had. And countless American sailors lost their lives getting sunk by German U-boats, even though they weren't directly involved in the war. So, yeah.
Don't end when we join there, beans on toast. Things end because we joined.
So, long story short...
You get him,
I
Grandpa
told
Buff.
Japan,
Also, the buff is eternal.
no. I was like, I'm not lifting the sanctions. You're not getting access to this stuff. You need to chill the fuck out. And they were still doing atrocious things. Like the Japanese, they gave Canada a real run for their money.
I wonder what percentage of a human is water. We shall investigate.
Yeah, the fucked up thing is all the experiments that were done by the Japanese research and development teams. Not we, but our government basically saw what they did and said, yeah, we want that information. This is information we want. If you give us that information, we will give you immunity from Geneva Convention and war crime violations. Yeah. That's still pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's how we know how much of a human is water.
Yes.
The Japanese weighed them before and then turned them into people jerky and weighed them after.
Yeah.
You know, I have about had it with America's shit. Oh no. Do I have to relive this all over again?
For weeks, there were sailors banging against the insides of capsized vessels that they couldn't escape from, slowly drowning to death. Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely, you have to live through this again. But anyways, back to the story. So by this time, Japan had started to plan to attack Pearl Harbor and Hawaii.
You know, I could control all of the Pacific. If I just took out the American ships in Pearl Harbor, they would have no time, no capability to attack me anywhere in the Pacific. Don't touch the fucking boats!
What's crazy is, January of 1941, the U.S. ambassador in Japan found out that they were planning this and wired Washington. Washington didn't fucking believe it. Like, they just kept preparing the entire year. They even sent a Japanese diplomat to Washington to try and talk about de-escalating things. He was rejected by the president. And right after that, they set sail for
Pearl Harbor. Yep.
They don't want to listen. I will make them listen.
Oh, and before anyone comes...
It's like, it's like, y'all sunk a bunch of boats. We dropped the sun on you twice.
At me all kind of crazy saying like, oh, you're trying to make it out like the U.S. was the bad guy here. No, I'm telling you the facts and how it went down. But if you look at the way things happened in World War II, the Empire of Japan was equally bad, if not worse, than Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Very bad. When you look at the Japanese war crimes and the Nazi war crimes, it is... Whew, the comparisons are just like... And the fact is, it... Oh, boy. Wow.
And that's saying something. Oh, my God. Just read up on Nanking. That should give you everything you need to know.
We are clear. Launch the attack. Fuck. God damn it.
So everyone in the U.S. at this time is thoroughly convinced that the imminent attack from Japan is going to take place in Asia. It's not going to take place in the Pacific. So we really had our pants down. Shoots, brother. Sorry, my pigeon, that's about all that I know. My bad, if you're from Hawaii. It's a great Sunday, December 7th, 1941. Christmas is coming up. Everything's good. What's that out there? It's just some B-17s coming in from the mainland. Now, while that word didn't officially come from the United States, it actually came from one of their superiors. 2 soldiers did detect the Japanese aircraft inbound. They detected them at 7:02, and the Japanese started hitting Pearl Harbor at around 7:55. And the significance of that was the primary anti-aircraft gun used by the United States military during this time was the M1 3-inch anti-aircraft gun.
Oh, that piece of shit.
And aside from being really shit, because it took 55 minutes to set up, had 3 rounds per minute, and had a ceiling of like a mile. But that 55 minutes would have saved a lot of lives had those soldiers known that those were Japanese aircraft inbound and not thinking that they were B-17s.
Whoa, what the fuck? We are under attack. It is happening right now. Do not forget their carriers. What do you mean there are no carriers there?
When all was said and done, after 2 hours and 20 minutes during the attack, around 2,400 people had lost their lives. Around another 1,200 were wounded. There was 18 ships and around 300 aircraft that were either destroyed or damaged.
Let me guess. You want me to say the quote?
Which one? You're talking about the sleeping giant quote that a lot of people... Well, see, that's the...
Yeah, that was never actually attributed to Yamamoto. That was never attributed to him. I think, what movie was that in? Was that, oh, God, what movie was that? Was it... I know they used it in the Pearl Harbor movie with Michael Bay, but I don't think that... I think it was in... I can't remember the name of the damn movie.
The thing. It's not a real quote. It's actually from the movie Tora.
Tora. Fuck me, dude. I am... Oh, and here I consider myself like a movie guy. Jesus.
In the 1970s. Now, the writer for that movie did say that he saw that quote in Admiral Yamamoto's diary and also in a letter that he had written to the Admiralty in the Empire of Japan. However, neither the diary or that letter has ever been seen by anyone American or Japanese. So it's a cool quote, but it's not a real thing. Now, it is known for
It's historical fiction. That's all you can really say. It is historical fiction.
Fact that Admiral Yamamoto did not necessarily approve of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Matter of fact, and this has been corroborated, many of his crew stated that he was kind of quiet and to himself.
He was
after
somber.
the attack on Pearl Harbor. And wasn't
He was somber about it. Yeah.
very proud of the work that they had done there.
I knew that. I just didn't know that you knew that. Okay. How do you feel about that, America?
Wow. This is only the second time in history that someone's ever touched my boats, and I got to admit, there's something deep down inside me that really doesn't like that. Like that little voice inside you that tells you, hey, let bygones be bygones, do a measured response, be proportional.
Proportional.
That's gone out the window. I want to scorch your entire country. I want to firebomb your main cities. I want to use experimental weaponry on your people so that I can study it for years to come. Oh man, I want to pour my Marines onto various islands where they're gonna mow down your people with fully automatic weaponry. This stings. Not a fan. I'm gonna fuck you up.
We would like to see you try. Don't fucking say that! I'm about to go back in time and choke myself.
Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. The island hopping campaigns and dude. There's so many stories featuring the island hopping campaign. I know that Fat Electrician's done a couple of them. I know that he did one about the old bastards, which we really need to watch that video, because that video, for what everyone tells us, is it's one of his best videos. Then of course, dude, there's a lot that we need to catch up on when it comes to Fat Electrician. But yeah, anyway, I think that's gonna do it for me. It is currently pretty late. It is 4:58 a.m. So I need to get upstairs. I need to get editing, and I need to finish stuff up before it gets too late, or too early, I should say, before it gets to sun up. So everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in, and until next time, I am Nate. I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace.